Hey kiddo.
Hi.
My name's Nurse Ella. What's your name?
My name is Imogen, but you can call me Genie if you want.
Well, that's a very pretty name, Genie. It's nice to meet you. I called you into my office today because your teacher, Miss June, told me that you've been having some tummy aches. Is that true?
Yeah.
Can you show me with your hand where your tummy is aching? Do you have tummy aches a lot?
I guess so.
What did you eat for breakfast today, buddy?
I didn't have a breakfast. Mommy sometimes is sleepy and she sometimes is kind of forgets, but it's okay. I'm not really hungry all the time.
I'm gonna take your temperature, okay?
Okay.
Would you mind taking your sweater off for me,
No,
sweetie?
Mommy says not to take it off because I always lose my sweater and she doesn't want me to lose it because it's special.
Okay, that's okay. I can just check your ear temperature. This way it won't tickle as much. It looks like your temperature is perfectly normal, kiddo. Do you feel well enough to go back to class for the day?
Oh yes, I feel good enough. I have to go back to class. Please, nurse. I missed so much already this week. Please don't call my mommy. I don't want to go home yet. I'm okay. I'm really okay. I think my tummy ache is better already.
For the individual intervention, we had used a relational interview method. We started off with making Imogen feel safe and comfortable by opening up the conversation in a friendly and non-judgmental manner. We'll be sending the message to Imogen that it is safe to talk and that she doesn't have to be left alone with her thoughts and worries. We will ask open-ended questions to start a conversation and to let Imogen express herself and her thoughts surrounding her problems and any violence that she may have witnessed. We will listen to her carefully and listen actively and acknowledge her feelings, because often traumatized children may have jumbled thoughts and feelings surrounding their abuse. Allowing her to express her thoughts and emotions might help her to get in touch with her internal world. And lastly, some strategies to build a relationship with Imogen would be creating a supportive environment to help Imogen feel like it's acceptable to talk about the issue if it helps her resolve any confusing feelings. Expressing empathy and a belief in what Imogen says, because sensitive emotions may be expressed. Doing this may make Imogen feel understood, which will establish an effective relationship. Giving Imogen the full attention needed to gain enough insight to be able to address her concerns will require a great deal of active listening while remaining calm and focused. It is important when interviewing children not to display anger or distress if they disclose abuse. Children may internalize these expressions and think that the negative emotions are directed towards them.
Throughout our relational interview, we are engaging in relational practice while developing a professional relationship with Imogen. Relational practice is defined by Karna as an inquiry that is guided by conscious participation with clients using a number of relational skills, including listening, questioning, empathy, mutuality, reciprocity, self-observation, reflection, and a sensitivity to emotional context. Using relational practice will help us to put any of our assumptions about Imogen's situation aside in order to deeply analyze contextual factors such as Imogen's age and family dynamic. Due to Imogen's family situation, it is important that we understand the risks within the capacities and complexities of her family's lives. We must also pinpoint disadvantages in social structures and inequities, such as her family's socio-economic status. This will enable us to convey a sense of emotional closeness, genuine concern, and consideration to Imogen, ultimately allowing Imogen to feel comfortable opening up about her problems at home. As a result, this will lead to therapeutic communication that promotes understanding and creates a constructive relationship between us and Imogen.
Relational capacities are very important when engaging in relational practices. These capacities enable patients to feel heard, have power, and develop beneficial relationships with their nurses. During our relational interview, we had to demonstrate initiative, authenticity, and responsiveness. We should focus on being with Imogene and building a relationship with her. This will allow Imogene to understand our genuine concerns for her and understand that we are trusting adults that she can rely on. Honoring complexity and ambiguity is also another important relational capacity, since we have to understand that there are many aspects of Imogene's life that we cannot change or control. So when looking at the population health promotion model, we would be creating supportive environments for Imogene. By building a relationship with her, she will be able to rely on us for help and comfort to cope with her experiences. Providing individual support to Imogene will further allow her to experience healthy child development through a slightly more positive childhood experience with less mental stress. She will be able to vent and release her emotions, thus reducing any aggression or withdrawal and isolation she may experience in class or in her life.
Through our intervention with Imogene and her family, we will be integrating several key class concepts such as health promotion, capacity building, primary prevention, equity, and social justice. Using these concepts in our intervention, we will focus on improving social support networks, healthy childhood development, physical environment, and personal health and coping practices. As community health nurses, we have to create and encourage action that helps people take control of their own health. In this intervention with Imogene and her family members, we are providing them with the tools and resources to take charge of their own health. An aim for community health nurses is to build capacity so individuals and communities are prepared, motivated, and equipped to improve their health status. We hope with the resources provided to Imogene's mother about domestic abuse, she can build capacity which would allow her and her kids to leave the harmful situation. Primary prevention is a way to address health concerns and mitigate any potential risk factors. However, this would be focused on addressing health concerns from happening in the future for Imogene or her family. Providing the resources and information for Imogene's family may help in this upstream approach. Social factors that impact Imogene's life, such as her parents having a lack of education, affects her lack of access to health resources that will overall improve her quality of life. Providing assistance in filling out a low-income transit pass form and low-income recreation pass form would allow Imogene to have improved access to transit and recreation.
Relationship building in difficult family situations is a complex task. Calling social services is required if you suspect child abuse is happening, and families that are currently undergoing a social services intervention may be more distrustful of health professionals and less likely to open up and discuss their problems. However, if we are able to reach out and build a relationship with the family, it is likely that we will find that Imogene's mother's goal and primary interest is enhancing the well-being of her children. We can help the family achieve this goal. To help the family enhance their well-being, we use Lorraine Wright's Calgary Family Intervention Model, or CFIM, which is an organizational framework used to aid interventions. It describes family functioning in the three domains of cognitive, affective, and behavioral. These domains are then compared to the interventions offered by health professionals to see how they fit or how effective they are. The affective domain consists of moods, feelings, and attitudes. The behavioral domain consists of actions and behaviors. The cognitive domain consists of family beliefs and the meanings they ascribe to situations. While change in any of the domains can affect the others, change in the cognitive domain has the most effect on other domains. So we did a cognitive level intervention for Imogene's family to try and change their beliefs, opinions, and knowledge. We use two main CFIM strategies. The first is commending family and individual strengths. This strategy helps people see themselves in a different light if they have poor self-image or need to develop self-efficacy. This may help them view themselves and their problems differently and help them move towards solutions that draw on their strengths. The family has two very evident strengths. Imogene's mom cares about her children and is resourceful in using her sewing capacities to provide for them. and Imogen and her siblings are resilient and still going to school despite family troubles and trauma. The second CFIM tactic is offering information. It's a tactic that is used because people may be empowered to meet their goals if offered relevant knowledge and access to resources. We might disclose information about the negative effects of intimate partner violence on children to Imogen's mom because she may not realize that her children are damaged by witnessing abuse. She may ask for information on resources that would enhance her capacity to take her kids' leave and make ends meet long-term as a single parent. There are a variety of support services and hotlines to direct her to, including Connect Family and Sexual Abuse Network and Alberta Works, support for Albertans fleeing abuse. These are organizations that link people with resources. Resource needs in abusive situations are complex and change over time, and these sorts of resource centers will be able to direct the family to what they need at the moment. We would also offer other information about resources that might help the family apply for initiatives like the Low-Income Cutoff Transit Pass, which would help her and her family with transportation and increase their access to food supplies and health services. Additionally, if the family expresses a need, letting the family know about support groups like Al-Anon and Alcoholics Anonymous could help by providing long-term support groups and thereby increasing the support network of the family, as well as increasing their coping skills and abilities.
In hopes of creating sustainable positive change in Imogen's life at the community level of action, we decided to create a course on healthy versus unhealthy relationships. We ensured that the course could be taught by anyone, including Genie's teacher. The course outline consists of 3 main components: building healthy relationships, identifying unhealthy relationships, and knowing what to do when you or someone you know is in an abusive relationship. The instructor was to open the class by asking probing questions such as, what is a relationship, what is a healthy relationship, and who might you have a relationship with? These questions encourage students to discuss and find out what their definitions of healthy relationships are. The instructor would then move into the topic of identifying unhealthy relationships. The instructor would define the different types of abuse such as physical, emotional, sexual, and neglectful, as well as who can cause abuse, such as friends, boyfriend or girlfriend, parents, siblings, or other family members. The instructor would then go over the difference between discipline and abuse, and then close off this section by asking the students another probing question: how might you feel if you are being abused? Finally, the instructor would go over what the students should do if they find themselves or someone they know in an unhealthy relationship, informing the class about available resources and supports.
So, why create and implement this course? There's a few reasons why. Number 1, it's a proven method. Giving education on abuse was an effective, proven method in reducing the impact of abuse in children. It is proven that educating kids on abuse and healthy relationships will make them more likely to recognize abuse, be less accepting of abuse, and more likely to seek help. This awareness in individuals could instigate positive change within the community by reducing passive bystanders and creating a more supportive environment around the subject of abuse. It is also impactful on a larger scope. Children come home with what they learned about healthy and unhealthy relationships to their parents and loved ones, and this spreads awareness within a larger community outside our target community, which is the classroom. This intervention could not only impact first-hand abuse that Imogen will face, but also the abusive relationships seen in her parents. By having a teacher facilitate the class, it's also very sustainable and cost-efficient, even after we leave the school as a community health nurse or as a school nurse.
Our goal for this program was to promote health in the Ogden community through a process of social awareness and social change. As community health nurses, we wanted to create an environment of acceptance and strengthen the ability for the students to manage their own health and develop healthy coping skills. We utilized the population health promotion model to guide our community development process. We focused on the Ogden school community, and our aim was to support healthy child development and build social support networks within the school. Through an evidence-based approach, our ultimate goal was to create supportive environments.
As public health nurses, we are often mediating between different sectors in order to promote health within a community. Therefore, during our community development, we had to work closely with the school leaders and teachers to gain access and permission to do a presentation for the students as part of a health initiative. We wanted to be advocates for Imogene and her peers by exposing them to healthy coping mechanisms and resources if they need support.
Hello?
Hi, Imogene. It's Nurse June from Ogden. How have you been doing?
Hi. I've been okay. How are you?
I'm good. Remember I said I would phone you to check in? I was wondering if I could get some feedback from the interventions we did a while ago and see if they worked for you.
I think they worked for me. When I first spoke to you, I was really nervous. I had never spoken to anyone about my family. I think at that point it felt like a secret. The relationship that you built with me reflected the relationships with those around me now, and I think it made me less hesitant to open up to others.
I'm glad to hear that. And what about the school program?
After that program, I think I had normalized so many things that happened to me. I don't think I realized how unhealthy it was for me. I can tell you that after the program, the culture of the school community changed. I remember so many students talking to each other about different kinds of abuse. I took home the information about unhealthy relationships, and when I saw the violence in my own home, I knew who to call so my mom and my siblings would be safe.
I am so happy to hear that. Has everything been okay at home?
I think we've been doing better. After you built a relationship with us and my mom, I don't think I'll ever forget how you helped us point out how strong and resilient we were and how we could draw on those strengths to improve our outcomes as a family. You gave us resources that really helped us. You got us a low-income transit pass, and my mom no longer had to walk hours to go to the store.
Imogene, that is just fantastic. Do you think it would be beneficial to keep the programs running at the school?
I think in any class, I'm sure there are students like me who probably feel they don't have a voice. I enjoy coming to school because I felt safe and I had people I could talk to after.
Well, I'm sure this information will be useful for us. I hope we can continue the programs so we can help students like you. Thank you so much, Imogene.
Thank you. You're welcome. Bye, Nurse June.